Right, so I'm in a toxic relationship with some of you guys. 70% of you guys watch these videos and still aren't subscribed. I don't understand it. It's free, it only takes a second, and I'd really appreciate it if you did it. But hey, times change, people change, we can work on things. However, not all toxic relationships are salvageable. As we're about to find out, there's some pretty toxic stuff coming up today, and it's essentially our job to decide whether they should try again, whether they should forgive their partner, move on, get over it, grow, change, or whether that's it. They should dump them and bring out the guillotines. So let's just jump straight into it. All right, first up, am I overreacting for losing my mind over this note that I found in my fiance's pocket? I normally don't do this, but you've been staring, and I'm guessing that's a phone number. Or maybe the person was really old and it's an email address. All right, there's some context. Me, a 29-year-old woman, and my fiance, a 30-year-old man, have been together for 3 years. Yesterday, he was out with his friends and came home a bit late, and we argued about it too. Tonight, we went out with our friend group and it was a bit cold, so he gave me his jacket. I went to the bathroom and I found this note in his jacket's pocket. I confronted him about it and he said it was nothing. He told me he found the note under his coffee cup the night before and didn't even call the number. He said I could check his call history if I didn't believe him, and I did. Yes, he didn't call the number, but why did he keep the note in his pocket? Am I overreacting for confronting him about this? Okay, I mean, one thing I will say is I zone out a lot, and I feel like sometimes after I've zoned out for about 10-15 seconds, I'm like, oh my goodness, there's a human in that general direction that might think that I'm staring at them right now. And I mean, there could have been plenty of reasons he might have been staring. He might have been like, you look so much like an old friend of mine, I'm just trying to figure it out. Or she could have had some spinach in her teeth. But it's the keeping the note that's definitely the sus part. Like, you're engaged, what were you gonna do with that note? Maybe he's environmentally conscious and wanted to recycle it. But then even then, if he had just left it on the table, the person cleaning up would have just cleaned up themselves. It wouldn't have been like tossing it aside in the street. Like, it just would have gone in the bin. Also, it happened last night. I kind of get maybe if you're going to bring it home and be like, ha, hey, honey, like, look at this note I got. How cute is this? Hold up. I don't know. Is that cute? I don't know, maybe. But just like they might have that kind of relationship where they're fine to just be like, look. But then they argued. So he was like, oh, I'm obviously not going to say this now. It feels inappropriate. But you've probably got to say it. Your last chance to say it is the morning after. Keeping it for the entire following day and then going out on a night out without mentioning it is too weird. And like, okay, he didn't call the number in that 24-hour period. Had it been a week, a month, had they had another big fight? Who knows? What do the comments say? I'd tell my wife immediately when I got home if this happened to me, but my wife isn't going to start an argument if I got home a bit late. I would definitely be a lot less likely to share this detail if we'd argued as soon as I got home. Something I meant to share as a funny detail of my night to share would seem like a trigger for another round of fighting instead. Yeah, that's pretty much what I already said. If you're already fighting, you're like, oh, now this isn't a good time to bring this up. But also, they're fighting about him coming home a bit late from a night out with his buds. I mean, different relationships have different boundaries, but that feels a little bit much, no? I got a note like this a year ago. It's pinned to our fridge. Wife thinks it's hilarious. That's a healthy relationship right there. Yeah, like, could be that they are the type of people that would find that funny. Exactly this. It happened. He told his wife and they had a laugh. Opie's fiance kept it as a secret though. Why? Yeah, why not leave it under the cup and let it go out with the trash? It is just a shame that there wasn't more time for this to play out because yeah, a week later, if he hasn't said anything and he's still got the note, weird as hell. Maybe also there's a call log to check and be like, you called her and I can see it and now I don't even need to question anything. But one day, plausible deniability in my opinion, it might have just slipped his mind, or he just not gotten around to me. You know, maybe there was a bit of aggy tension still in the air and he didn't want to trigger anything ahead of their second night out. Look, I wouldn't be thrilled if I found a note like this, but are you sure you're happy in this relationship? Can he really not be out a bit late without starting a fight? Do you really need to check his phone? You clearly can't trust his word. I would reconsider the relationship. Yeah, it doesn't sound like this is the first trigger. It seems like another event in a rocky relationship. I mean, ultimately, the question is, am I overreacting for confronting him about this? It could be a little bit sus, so I think you're not in the wrong at all for being like, what is this? Why have you got it? So yeah, sounds like you've got a lot of other issues that need working on, that need fixing. But are you overreacting for confronting him about this? No, not overreacting. Definitely not enough to cool it off, but maybe couples therapy's on the cards here. All right, next up. Wow, we're going straight to 100. Am I overreacting? My boyfriend pissed on me. My boyfriend has a thing for pissing. He very much loves peeing on me. He doesn't do it often, maybe a couple of times a year. And it's always an active, involved consent type of thing. Like he'll say, I want to do this. And I'll say, sure, and go get in the bathtub. And he can do it and I can immediately clean it off. Wow, this is a lot already. I feel like this This already feels like a lot of oversharing. I feel very awkward right now. Let's continue reading. Anyway, we're on vacation right now, and 2 days ago he said he wanted to do it again on vacation. I said, sure. Fast forward to last night, we're on the couch, just finished a nice dinner. We're both pretty drunk, and in the middle of the movie, he stands up in front of me and just starts pissing on me. I'm fully clothed and we're sitting on an Airbnb couch. I freak out, immediately lock myself in the bathroom and clean myself up. He's completely confused why I'm mad because I told him he could this trip. He doesn't apparently see the difference between a bathroom and a living room, active participation, any of it. I'm currently sleeping in the second bedroom. I really just wanted to leave and go home. I don't want to finish this vacation. That is so nuts. I mean, I feel like him getting the consent in advance is kind of like a kind of like initial first foot through the door, be like, just floating this by you at some point. If I ask when we're in the bath or in the shower, is it going to ruin the mood or are you going to get pissed off? Just sort of like a preliminary warm-up type thing. I don't feel like her being like, sure, you can do it at some point this holiday is like, at any point when you feel like the moment is right, you can just get up and piss on me on a sofa whilst I'm fully clothed. That's so nuts. I mean, this is like unconsensual adult activity. Like, I don't think you're really overreacting for sleeping in the second bedroom and wanting to finish the vacation. I think that's a pretty valid reaction. And I wouldn't be surprised if a large number of people were sitting there going like, you should have reacted a lot more, really. Oh, yeah, this whole thing is not for me. It's actually really freaking me out. It's giving me weird goosebumps. Why is that happening to me? I hope that's a sign I don't like it. No, it is. I promise. Not that I'm judging, just, yeah, not for me. Although I'm judging this guy's actions a little bit. All right, comments. Alexa, set a reminder to put a blanket down everywhere whenever I visit an Airbnb. I think a tarp might be a better choice. Oh, they're saying like put a blanket down because I don't know what's been there. Not this person going, put a blanket down in case I need to piss on command. Not overreacting, and you better be paying whatever the Airbnb charges for cleanup, and I'm so sorry. Yeah, actually, the Airbnb owner wouldn't know that it happened, so if there was any splashback going all over that sofa, that's going to stink. There's going to be piss on, and people are going to sit on that. I mean, that's very much in addition to the much worse thing of the woman getting pissed on without her consent, but, you know, they're right to say not only is this weird and disrespectful to your partner, but also weird and disrespectful to everyone else who has to be in that Airbnb. Just wait until you're home and piss on your own couch, you freak. And again, a freak for pissing on a public couch and their non-consenting girlfriend. I don't know why I'm clarifying so much. I don't want to piss off it. Well, maybe they want to. They don't want to get pissed off, actually. They want to get pissed on. But I don't want to piss off anyone with this kind of thing because, hey, if it's adult consensual relationship, hey, do what you want. I'm calling this guy a freak because it's not fully consensual, and the people also renting the Airbnb next are also definitely not consenting. Not overreacting. This guy does not respect your consent. I think he's lying about being confused as well. He knows what he did. How long have you guys been together? Does he have a history of disrespecting or pushing the boundaries of your consent? This one time alone is reason enough to question whether or not you want to continue the relationship. And I'd lean towards ending it because, come on, use some common sense. If he has a history of it, you need to end things yesterday. Sorry he did this. We've been together a little over a year, and looking back, yes, he pushes boundaries. I guess this was just shocking. Yeah, run. I mean, this is a clear pushing the boundaries, and, you know, if OP was like, he was drunk and I don't think he really meant it and stuff, I'd be like, not sure about that, but okay, your decision, I guess, if you can make him promise to not do it again. But saying he has a history of doing stuff like this to you, tell him to take his piss and fuck off. But maybe, yeah, don't laugh, because be like, it's not funny, is it? And probably make him aware, just be like, this kind of is something I could probably call the police over. And if you're pushing boundaries and disrespecting people like this to this extreme lengths again, you might end up in some serious trouble, pal. Is your man R. Kelly? It's the remix edition to the song about pissing. Air P and P. What the fuck going on? Right, well, I feel like enough has been said on this, and I'm close to feeling queasy looking at the title again. So no, for wanting to leave and leave the vacation, not overreacting, and I think you should leave the relationship. All right, next up. Am I overreacting? No husband paid for OnlyFans. No husband? What does that mean? So last week, I told my husband it was hard reading all the threads about women whose husbands cheated on them for not putting out during pregnancy/postpartum. My baby is 4 months old. I'm not back on any birth control, and we haven't done anything for a long time. So I asked him if I'm still enough for him, even though my anxiety, stress, and sleep deprivation is ruining our intimacy. He reassured me that he can be patient and understanding. I asked him about if he was viewing things to occupy himself, and he said no. But it turns out he was lying because he was paying for one of our mutual friends' OnlyFans subscription. So is this supposed to say my husband paid for OnlyFans? Probably. He said it was only once and he instantly deleted the subscription. I kicked him out. I wouldn't have even been mad if he had been honest when I asked. I wanted to work through it together and get back to being intimate, but now I'm not so sure. I'm honestly considering divorce since he's capable of lying straight to my face. I don't think I can trust him anymore. Am I overreacting? I mean, yeah, it's kind of your choice where to set the boundary to be like, I either do or don't want you watching stuff. Like, you can just don't tell me about it or tell me about it or whatever. Like, whatever boundary you want to set, that's completely up to you. But when you've just given birth to his baby and you're suffering with a bunch of things and you're being honest and being like, wow, I'm not being intimate with you as much as I'd like, you know, is there anything I can do? Or like, you know, am I still enough for you? Like, the lady's clearly suffering there, having a hard time, and she wants him to reassure her and all that kind of stuff, which he kind of did. But then to like know that your partner's going through that and then just straight up lie to them, that's a pretty tough one. Maybe he thought like, oh, if I told her it would crush her because she's got all these worries, and now if I admit that I'm getting some sort of stimulation or occupying my other ways in you know, with substitutions, is that gonna like really kick her while she's down? Maybe he panicked and was just like, oh, I can't really admit to this right now. No, I'm not watching anything. But I feel like he probably should have come to her and been like, yeah, that was a lie. Which makes me wonder how long it takes for the turns out he was lying. Like, did she check that night? And did he have time to think about that? Which would mean that he wouldn't have had time to think about it as much? Or was this like weeks down the line where like he's had plenty of time to be like, I wasn't completely honest with you and I should have been. I will say though, the fact that it's a mutual friends OnlyFans subscription is very weird. That could go either way. Like, that could be like super inappropriate. Well, it is super inappropriate, but it's hard to tell whether he did it being like, oh, like my friends just dropped an OnlyFans, I've got to see this. Is this what I think it is? I mean, obviously he should have spoken to his wife first and been like, listen, our mates just started this. You don't want to see, do you? Like, I feel like that would have been one thing, but buying it behind your partner's back and then lying about it, just, you know, there's a couple of quite wrong steps here. And again, all to your vulnerable wife who's just had your baby. It's stacking up against the husband here. Here's my update. We've talked. He knows my trust is broken. I'm distraught and disgusted. We set some serious boundaries, such as choosing me or asking me first before going to porn and never viewing someone we know or paying for it. I'm willing to give him some time to prove that he can treat me better, and he also knows I'm still very hurt and will likely have uncertainty for some time until we can build our trust again. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That does seem like quite a healthy and mature way to deal with this situation. Like, just being like, listen, you've upset me, you've broken my trust, I'm gonna make some very clear boundaries. Don't do it again, and I'm gonna give you some time to make up for it, because I mean, they've got a family together. If you think there's a chance that the relationship can continue, it can go back to being healthy and happy, I can understand why you're like, I don't want to, you know, tear my family apart for this, even though, like we said before, like it wouldn't be her tearing the family apart, it'd be him. But yeah, you know what I mean. I think that's pretty valid. I just hope that when he's choosing or asking her first and he's like, oh, I'm feeling it, you know, you said to ask you first, doesn't feel like any pressure to be like, oh, well, I've told you I really don't want you doing other stuff, but you know, now I feel a bit of pressure to, you know, do whatever. I hope she doesn't think like that. And in fact, you'd like to think that as her husband, he would reassure her of that and be like, honey, look, if I come to you, don't worry about it. There are far more important things and I'll get over this moment. Eesh, you know her? That's the icky part. Does she know he was viewing her content? Wait, do we know it's a she? Paying for one of our mutual friends' subscription? I don't think, I mean, I might have missed it, but I don't think we see a gender here. Does that change anything? Not really. Oh, yuck. And on top of taking time and money away from the wife, I kind of forgot about the money part. It's been like, oh, we've got a baby, and rather than buying diapers, you're buying boob pics. Times are a little tough at the moment, you know, money's a little tight. We need some more pacifiers or dummies or whatever you call them. And you're buying soapy shower pics. What the hell? The mutual friend is the worst part. Yeah, because next time you hang out with them, you just be sitting there with your husband like, right, well, you've seen them butt naked, possibly doing freaky stuff. So like, where does this leave me? Like, you evidently like that person enough to pay for their content. And does the friend know? Yeah, is the friend just totally oblivious to it? I mean, I feel like if you made that kind of content and your friends knew, you'd be like, there's a chance they'd have seen it. But I don't know, maybe that would probably still freak you out. You'd probably be like, that's still a bit weird. Yeah, this whole thing is this is strange. I mean, you've definitely not overreacted whatsoever in what you've done. Again, I don't think it would be hugely surprising if you were like, I've literally carried your baby and you're doing this, you're buying our friends OnlyFans stuff. I'm leaving and I'm taking the baby with me. But given you've done this, I can only hope that he's going to change and be like, that was so messed up, and never do it again. And be a great husband and a great father to your child. Is anyone confident he will be? Who knows? Let me know in the comments, guys. All right, next up. Am I overreacting? Should I stop seeing this guy over these messages? What's on the horrible tea? I mean, what's in the horrible tea? You need to get better by Thursday. And Thursday. Neem leaf. Oh, that does look helpful based on my Google search. Yeah, it works. Tastes bad though. Worst thing I've ever tasted. interested. You're really selling it. I'm working out overtime for Thursday. Oh yeah? And for myself. But Thursday's driving with me, yeah. I was thinking, I don't think we should have sex on Thursday. I want to wait at least a few dates in. Okay, I want to have sex with you, just to be clear, lol. I understand. So you just want to go rock climbing? Yeah, we could do something else after too. I need you to take a second and just try to understand this. Because emotionally, I'm already there. So I'm just going to take a second and just think this one through, because the build up and drop off is a lot for me. I'm just trying to understand emotionally what's happening. I need me to take a second. I mean, not you. Okay. I mean, it's a lot for you to deal with, the fact that you were going to have sex one day and now you're not. I mean, she's not exactly giving mixed signals. Like, she's straight up saying very, very well, like, what, good on her for clarifying. Like, oh, I do want to have sex with you, just to be clear. Like, this isn't like a, oh, I'm having second thoughts about anything. She's literally saying, I still want to go on the date and I still want to hook up with you at some point. I just don't think by Thursday. And I mean, he really seems to have his heart set on it. You need to get better by Thursday. Although that doesn't necessarily mean the sex. He could be like, oh, we got a date. No, you need to get better by Thursday. I want to see you. No, I'm reading into a character trait I genuinely do not believe is there. That is not how I believe you're saying it. You need to get better by Thursday so I can bang you, is basically what I'm thinking. But yeah, I think this emotional turmoil thing is bullshit, because she made it very clear that she's still interested in every single way. So what did she say? I get that. I don't mean to give you whiplash. I feel like this could be something, so I don't want to rush it. Sorry, I didn't mean to make it confusing. Waiting until a few dates in feels like a way for me to set my intentions. Yeah, that's valid. And it's so early on in the relationship, like a few dates in, and he needs to go sit in his quiet little corner to mull things over, be like, oh, she doesn't want to bang me on the second date. How am I supposed to emotionally cope with this evil blow you've dealt upon me? Gym selfie. Now I really want to fuck you because I'm so annoyed.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh God, I mean, she said she doesn't want to, and he's like, oh, now I want to angry fuck you. Like, oh, good luck trying to run from me. Huh? That sounds like a threat. What are your intentions with me? What the fuck? I'm so annoyed I now want to is one thing. Good luck trying to run from me. Like, oh, if you try and run, oh, good luck, you're going to need it because I'm going to catch up with you. And do what? I respect your space. Doesn't sound like it. You literally were just saying you're going to chase her down. And your decision, we're both grown-ups. At this point, I know what my intentions are. And honestly, next time I see you, I'm going to try to... I thought he had, in this like 9-minute period, been like, I respect your space and decision. You know, I thought he had read through the text and been like, that was really weird of me. Pulling it back. I respect your space. I should never have said that. I know what my intentions are. Let's have the date. Like, please. He's been like, I know what my intentions are. I know what yours are. You don't want to, and I'm going to try anyway. I'm actually scared to keep reading. Not because I don't respect you, but because I know where this is headed, and I'm ready to lead this relationship. What kind of alpha male course bullshit is this? If that's too much for you, I understand. Yes, it is. It would be too much for any normal, rational human. That's so scary. I'm not into having someone control my emotions by rejecting your sexual advances on one date, but still wanting to date you and still wanting to. This is so nuts. I need someone who can protect them, not play with them. This is so weird. I mean, first of all, like the emotional turmoil this loser is going through from being denied sex from a woman who is saying she wants to continue dating you and wants to sleep with you eventually is pathetic. But like this is a threat of sexual violence. Like this is something like, if my friend brought me this and was like, oh, look at these messages from this guy, I'd be like, phone the police, or like let's get a few of us to go get together and break his legs.
Ooh, you're hard showing off.
The fuck do you mean good luck trying to run from me? This is like something out of the horror games I play. Like demonic, evil, criminal, horrible. Oh, this is actually so messed up. Am I overreacting? Should I stop seeing this guy over these messages? You should find his parents on Facebook. Find his mum and be like, do you know what your son is messaging women? Send them to his employer. Send them to the police and be like, hello, I've got a very credible threat of violence like wedged against me. This man is not safe to be roaming the streets or speaking to women or humans in general. Can you please lock him up? Put a muzzle on him and tie his hands behind his back and just leave him out in the forest somewhere. You go up to him like, excuse me, mate, do you want to get eaten by a bear? And he goes, no. And you go, well, this bear is kind of hungry. And I mean, good luck trying to run from it. I mean, it knows what your intentions are. It knows you want to get away, but it's not going to respect that. He's hungry and he doesn't like being messed around about his food. He knows what his intentions are. He's gonna eat you. And I wonder if then, as he's being mauled to pieces, being eaten piece by piece, whether he's going to be there like, yeah, actually, this is some pretty shocking logic. I'm actually suffering quite a lot here. I would definitely have liked it if this was a two-way street and we both agreed to this. Okay, wait, this was the original post as well. I, a 33-year-old woman, have been on one date with this guy. a 35-year-old male, which was really good. We seem to sync on everything. We've been texting for a few weeks, and our second date is planned for this Thursday. 2 nights ago, the text got spicy and we discovered a lot of sexual compatibility where I expressed enjoying being submissive in the bedroom and he dominating. That conversation ended with him telling me, I'm gonna fuck you on Thursday. And I was so into it, how it gave me shivers in my chest. The next day I thought about how I liked where this was going, and so I didn't want to have sex on the second date because I want this to really lead somewhere. When I told him this over text, his response really surprised me. Now, I grew up watching my mum get slapped around, so I may be hypersensitive to these concepts, but his response is giving me bad vibes. Would I be overreacting if I ended things over this? Okay, I mean, this gives a little bit of more context, because I mean, at least it can partly explain why he just switched into this like dominant, oh, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm an angry alpha male in the gym and I want to shag anyway kind of thing. I mean, not in any way that justifies it or makes it okay, or isn't like, doesn't mean that he overshot massively. And like, okay, the gym selfie and the like, now I really want to because I'm so annoyed is like, it's a bit cringe, like alpha male, you know, dominant stuff, you know what I mean? But the second he said, good luck trying to run from me, it's like, bro, that's not a dominant thing. That's a criminal thing. And then switches up because this whole like, I need someone who can protect my feelings and not hurt them by not wanting to have sex with me on a specific day. Like, how's that dominant alpha male stuff? You sound like a prehistoric ape who can't control your lust. Weak-willed and cringe. Ugh. But yeah, no, I may be hypersensitive to these concepts. What do the comments say? Yeah, stop seeing this guy. Setting a boundary does not mean you're trying to control his emotions. That's a huge red flag. By the way, a true dominant, not some asshole with a control issue, would have heard you, respected your boundary, and made you feel secure in your decision. Yeah, this isn't a dom-sub convo to me. This is he wants to fuck and doesn't care how he gets it or what the outcome is. His dominance seems like it's going to overlook consent. It doesn't seem like it might. He's expressly saying that. You know, usually I feel like on a lot of these, I really try and like hear out people's opinions. I really try and understand like the best possible, like I try and like paint the best possible picture of them with the caveats of the things that we already know. And so sometimes it's like, okay, like they weren't explicitly saying it, but like that was pretty dark. Like, you know, this clearly isn't a good person. There's no chance of it. But this time I feel like I'm on the opposite side. This time I feel like everyone is massively underreacting. What the hell do you mean? I can't get over this. Good luck trying to run from me. Those texts sound like a rapist not overreacting. Thank God. Someone just saying it quite plainly. Yes, good luck running from me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the fact that you're even asking if you should just stop seeing him. Girl, what the hell? Run. Well, apparently if she does meet with him, she'll have to run away. Lol, I hope this dark humor gets through to OP. She doesn't need dark humor getting through to her. She needs the underlying message that this is terrifying. What the hell? I would not go anywhere with this dude. Come on, OP, use your damn head. He's basically telling you he wants to force himself upon you. Is your next post going to be, am I overreacting or was I assaulted? Or are you going to be smart about this? Lol, call me out a little hard here, but fair. Very fair. Like, it's way more important for people to make very clear how scary this could be. Okay, and we've got an update. He sent more stuff after these screenshots, which you can read below the update. I took an hour past his last message to digest, and reading the Reddit comments helped assure me this was worth shutting it down over. Phew. I sent him a very clear message and then blocked him so he couldn't attempt to manipulate me with his replies. The message I sent at 8:35. I've been reflecting a lot and I don't feel comfortable continuing to see each other. I think it's best for me to take a step back and not move forward. I wish you nothing but the best, but I'm going to take space now and won't be meeting up again. Valid. Okay, good. Glad to hear. I'm not used to interacting with such insanity, and I've only been attempting dating since September after 4 years of going solo, and I was only in long-term relationships before that, so I'd never really dated the way it is these days. It's all new to me. When the messages were coming through this morning, I felt so strange. I think I was in a state of shock and confusion. After all day processing it, I find it absolutely wild that he slept on it, then had a 3-hour tantrum over me saying not yet. Just to clear up a common question I saw in the comments, he usually gets up around 4 a.m. to go to the gym, so he was sober, just gym high, I guess. Also, this text conversation took place 2 weeks after our first date and a few days prior to our planned second date. So we'd been texting a lot and there had been no identified red flags up until this point, which is partly why I was so confused by this and wanted an outside opinion. I appreciate all the input from the comments. It really helped me fully grasp that I am indeed not overreacting to shut it down over this. Here's the message he sent after the screenshots. I'm not saying I'm perfect or that I ever will be, but I'm definitely one of the few ones left that's actually striving to be. If you can't see the qualities I'm bringing forward on a consistent basis and the heart that I'm putting in, then I feel unseen. We don't care, bro. And I don't like feeling unseen. respectfully. And then there's a transcript from audio messages. I've been doing a lot of reflecting, and like I wish I could be like, you know what, it's cool, like you could, you know, or we could talk about, you know, being extremely intimate, and we could talk about love, and we could show each other our hearts and talk about everything. I feel like I could talk to you about everything and anything, and like you're talking about getting on your knees and sucking my dick, you know what I mean? Just the way I like it, you know what I mean? So to say, you know, now I'm gonna make you wait, like I wish I could be like, okay, cool, I'm not turned on by you, okay, cool, I'm gonna shut up and be respectful to you sexually and respect your wishes and not look at you and be extremely turned on. But I can't lie to myself or lie to you and say, yeah, I'm gonna shut up and be a perfect gentleman right now. I'd be lying. That's just not me. I can't not be myself. And if that's not what you want, then at this point it's like, okay, cool, because that's not me. If that's not the guy you want or the man you want, then yeah. If the guy you want is going to say, okay, I understand, I'm going to respect you in this specific situation. If that's what you're looking for, then that's not me. That is such an insane sentence. If the guy you're looking for is going to respect your wishes to not sleep with you at that point, then that's not me. You are literally just saying that you're a rapist then. That's so wild. Because at this point, I'm so turned on. I have such a high libido that at this point, there's no way I'm going to show up on Thursday and not try to undress you. There's just no way. It actually, like, it has me speechless. Like, this is the type of thing that we need to lock people up for. It's actually insane, because he must be sitting there thinking like, this is that real domination stuff. It's so extreme domination that it's surely just going to catch her, right? Like, she's going to fall for this and be hearing it and be like, oh, I've got shivers and I've got to come over. I don't know why she got that voice. But how he can say all that and not be like, oh, you know, it doesn't matter what you say at all, I'm going to undress you no matter what. Like, bro, that's so terrifying. And when I say I respect you, like sexually, I don't mean to disrespect you. I mean, a respectful thing to do in this situation would be to show up and do everything in my power to not fuck you. But I can honestly say right now, like today in this moment, I don't see how I could do that. And I hope you understand that like, I don't see any possibility in that happening from my perspective. Respectfully, and it's not out of disrespect to you, it's out of the fact that I'm there mentally and I'm already there emotionally. And if you aren't there mentally and emotionally, then that's fine. But I am. Like, I can stand strong and tell you that mentally and emotionally I'm there, and like, yeah. But you don't have the strength to be like, oh, I can hold myself back and wait. There's no reason or logic or empathy or soundness in this brain. Just like 3 horny brain cells that are just going, fuck. This whole thing is just nuts. I mean, deep down, I'm praying that this is all weird fantasy talk, and in the moment, if she was like, no, I'm really not going to, he would respect that. But I really doubt it. And if there's any doubt, don't find out. Like, I feel like in this scenario, this is where you don't want to give anyone the benefit of the doubt. You don't want to be like, you know what? I'm gonna assume you might be a good person deep down, and I'm gonna risk it. No. If you think someone could harm your person, run. And the final paragraph, for context on the sucking dick comments, he asked me what I'm into sexually, and he listed that he likes blowjobs. What a unique guy. One of the only men ever that likes that. So I told him that I really like giving blowjobs and that it plays into the submissive role I like to take on in the bedroom. I also explained that because I'm in leadership roles and so assertive in my daily life, then I like to let go of all of that during intimacy. I'd felt like it was a very mature and direct conversation about kinks and preferences. Did we need clarifying on any of that? Don't really know what questions that answered or why I read that. I think this might be one of the biggest underreactions ever. Like, genuinely, this guy needs a warning tattooed on his forehead. All right, next up. Am I overreacting to how my boyfriend responded? I made it to Walmart, baby. Okay, still at home getting ready. Okay, love. When I hate a job, I have zero motivation to go and do anything, in all honesty. I'm taking my system. I understand, baby. I don't want you feeling like that, but we've still got bills to pay, so for now, can you just stick it out? Did you talk to Caden about transferring? Did I say I'm not sticking it out? Did I say I'm quitting or leaving? I didn't say that you were. This is why I don't vent or say anything, because you take it out of context and automatically assume I'm gonna quit. I'm having issues at work and I can't even vent without you assuming I'm quitting. That's good to know. I'm saying that's the motivation. I never was thinking or said that. Bills ain't motivation, LMAO. You're blowing it out of proportion. But sure, if that's how you see motivation, then that works for you. But for me, that doesn't work. I'm not blowing it out of proportion. You said, but we still have bills to pay. You'll have to stick it out. How else am I supposed to read that? You're basically telling me what I need to do. Another reason why you don't communicate to me. I've never made an assumption to you that you were going to quit or even gave you shit about quitting, but okay. Look, if I'm taking it out of proportion, you're assuming something I never said. You're telling me you have no motivation or to do anything. I said I understood how you're feeling, but the harsh reality is we gotta stick shit out, even when it sucks, and keep doing it. I have times I'm not motivated, but I don't show up to work late or leave early because at the end of the day, it just affects me. My motivation is that I need a place to sleep. I have bills to pay. I want to be able to buy things, but I hate asking my family for anything, so I do what I have to do. So maybe it's not a motivation for you, but you don't need to be upset about it. I've never assumed in any of the shit you vent to me about work, you were going to quit. So again, I don't know where that's coming from. I literally asked you about transferring because I'm thinking you're sticking it out there for a couple more weeks or so. That's what I meant. I know how they are, so I know they're shitting coworkers to work with. I don't understand why it got blown out of proportion. Okay, again, I'm not assuming anything and I'm not blowing anything out of proportion. Maybe next time reword what you say and I won't read it as I see it and how I see you saying it. So first of all, I'm not assuming, so quit saying I'm assuming. That's only going to irate me more. And secondly, I'm not blowing up anything out of proportion. Like I said, you should watch what you say because it comes off another way. Instead, you should actually make sure I'm okay or ask how are you feeling or doing. You automatically hit me with a mum response and say, well, you need to stick it out, like I have no choice. One thing about me is I'm my own man, my own person, and if I'm not feeling a job, I will not put myself in any uncomfortable positions where I feel 1, trapped and can't go nowhere, 2, unwanted and unheard, 3, and issues with my money, I will not stay. I care about respect and I don't have that at this job. Jeez, this was quite a freak out from the initial messages. I mean, he just really kicked off at her. And as well, like valid, you know, bills might not be a motivation for him, but she's saying like, we've got bills. This evidently affects her too. Like there are plenty of people that work and hate their job, but they're like, well, I have got bills to pay, especially when you've got people who rely on you. Like maybe he's got to cover his half of the rent and she's like, well, I'm working, I don't enjoy it. If you stop working because you don't enjoy it, it affects me. I'm gonna get kicked out on the street. We won't be able to buy groceries. We won't be able to eat well. I feel like she's being almost like too defensive, right? Like she shouldn't be going like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. She should be like, can you just stop being a freak? Can you relax? Like, again, I get it. You hate your job and you're really stressed out about it. And, you know, maybe you're struggling with other things because it sounds like you're struggling with motivation and stuff. Maybe that's a symptom of something else that we need to get addressed. But you can't talk to me like this. Yeah, as long as you keep essentially accepting the blame that he throws back at you, you're in for a lifetime of this. She needs to stop paying and start saying, meaning if he does not like what he's doing, figure it the fuck out like a normal person, not a whiny blame the world for my BS loser. This asshat is a product of being catered to. OP needs to move on and leave this loser and his bills. Bills ain't motivation. What now? I guess that's true for him because he has you to bail him out, right? Like bills are literally the main motivation any one of us has to work, sir. Seriously, I didn't work a zillion shitty little minimum wage jobs in my 20s because I liked them. I married and divorced a guy who was the exact same way. If he didn't like his job, he quit and then we would struggle to pay for things and then he would get another job that he would absolutely hate and quit that in a few weeks. I was always walking on eggshells and making sure my tone and things I said weren't something that he could get mad at me about, though that was rare. Sometimes things I said would make him quit because he didn't need anyone to tell him what to do. Anyway, I understand where you're coming from, not overreacting. Yeah, that's the phase we're in now. We had some arguments and I ended up telling him that I feel like I'm always walking on eggshells around him and that when he comes home, I'm waiting to see what his mood is, to see how the night will go. He recognized he takes things out on me and that he would change, but I'm seeing he's really not. I mean, that ultimately is the thing, like, things can suck and you can be like, you're not overreacting. This does suck. Things need to change. But if someone's showing you that they can't change, what are you doing? What are you still there for? All right, what are they saying? Now I'm wondering if I came across too harsh or unsupportive. Am I overreacting for feeling a little hurt for how he responded? Or should I have approached it differently? I think you should have approached it differently. To be honest, you should have been like, damn, sorry to hear that, bro. But I can't say anything because I know exactly what you're like every single time we do this. And so rather than saying anything and having you kick off at me and blaming me and making me feel shit, I'm leaving. I hope this is the kick up the butt that you needed to sort your shit out. But I'm not gonna chill around and wait and see if you do. So yeah, are you overreacting for feeling a little hurt? No, not overreacting. If he's not gonna change, get out of there. And now I feel like my blood has fully boiled. I fear we probably all need a rest now. But before you go, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe down below. Like I said, it really does mean a lot to me. I'd really appreciate it. It's free, it only takes a second. You just have to scroll down and hit that button. And it means that the next time I do one of these Am I Overreacting videos, you'll catch it as soon as it's out. Also, don't forget to hit the like button. Leave a bunch of comments down below because I love hearing you guys' takes on things, about how you felt about all these scenarios and my thoughts. And yeah, most importantly, thanks for watching. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye.